Donna, how did you find Carnivore?
I discovered Carnivore several years ago, approximately 2021. I was researching on YouTube and I listened to Ivor Cummins, who spoke about um, carbohydrate reduction and insulin resistance. And from there, I discovered so many more wonderful people, including your good self. And I embraced it wholeheartedly. I spent 6 months. I went strict carnivore and had some wonderful feelings and results. And I did that in conjunction with running and physical activity. Um, and ever since then, it's second nature to me. It's
Right.
something I'll never let go because it was ingrained in me how the benefits were so great that I it's almost automatic. My resistance to the chip and the seed oils and any, I'm a ingredient. I read ingredients, and I ever since went down that path, I it's second nature.
Mm. Wow. So what was it that made you start looking and when you were initially found Ivor Cummins? What were you looking for?
At that time, I had gotten, it was a post pandemic, and I had gained weight, and I was research. I don't know how I stumbled on him, but he just showed up, and it just led me down the path of the impact of sugar on the body, and how much we've been just sold down the path. And what we learned over time is that fats are what our body want, and grains are at the bottom. So it just led me to this whole community, which is you and everyone else that have come to this realization that this concept of is so contrary to what's been sold to us over time. And I believe it, and I've lived it, and I've seen it, and we are all witnessing it. So every time that I talk to somebody, and every time you interview somebody, they witness the reality of the effect, which is so powerful.
You went into it originally because of the weight post-pandemic weight gain.
Hmm.
So you lost weight. Did you notice anything else changing?
Yeah, at that time, I was suffering with menopausal effects, night sweats, and mood swings. Um, and also, I had foot pain from my running. And as time went on, the menopausal symptoms diminished to the point where, and of course, with my age, my age too, they diminished. My foot pain as a result of the running diminished, and I, I just felt so much better. So it was a physical, it was a hormonal effect, and also I was able to shed those areas of my body that I couldn't address. I could address with the carbohydrate restriction.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
And so you must feel when you're running now, you must feel much lighter on your feet.
Well, I have to admit, I have admissions. I've decreased my running, but I walk every day. I have a dog, and due to my work schedule and this and that, I don't run as much. I run on the trail when I can, in the woods. Um, but I'm going to pick that up again. So I've did a little backsliding with the physical activity, but I still walk as often as I can, and that helps a lot.
What has the reaction been to you eating this way from friends and family?
The family are not, my husband has to do what I do most of the time because he doesn't have much of a choice. My daughter moved away, so she is kind of doing her own thing. She understands the concept, but she's not ready to go there. Um, Friends, honestly, I'm an anomaly. I don't think anybody, even my running group, I've talked about it, but I have several vegetarians in the crew. And I think what I tell them is that time will tell. So we're going to catch up when we're 60, 62, 65, 70, and let's see how we're doing. Time is, that is the proven thing. I I don't complain about stomach gut issues. I don't complain about joint issues. I feel good. I have energy. So, like I say, as far as friends and family go, the proof is in the pudding, and I think that's the biggest seller.
Right. So just on the running again, like, has your I know you've reduced it, but when you are
Mhm.
running or even when you're walking, is your endurance seem better than it was before?
Um, yeah, if I wasn't restricted by having to work, I could walk all day. I have huge amounts of energy. I take care of my family. I also take care of my dad. I help my aunt. I help my brother. I, it takes a fair amount of energy, and I feel like I'm super energized. As a matter of fact, I think that the more the I had I had fallen off the wagon a little bit recently, and I got myself back on track in the last couple of weeks, and the more I do it, the better I feel. Focus, energy. Like yesterday was Sunday, the day of rest. I was on my feet all day, on all day. So it's
And I feel like for most people, this extra energy, it's compounded by the fact that you end up spending less time in the kitchen because you're not kind of chopping vegetables and doing all that kind of thing.
absolutely simplicity of meal preparation. You make your food, you make your meat, your eggs, your whatever, your fish, whatever you're making, you eat it, and the rest of the day is yours. I'm not washing vegetables. I tell you, I was a vegetarian for several years, and your life is consumed by ingredients, you know? You're
Yes.
you're chopping up cashews, and you're creating a parmesan, and this is, it's great, but what I've learned, maybe even over the past weekend, is that, yeah, we did like one meal a day, and I have to say that that's a very nice. I'd like to continue that because we're I was productive for hours and hours. I had one meal, and then I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to, it just makes you just have more things, available time to do things. You're not
Y-
yeah.
Yeah, it's actually it's one of the most awesome things. It's like you can just eat, forget, and you've got this constant level of energy and no hangry feelings the whole day.
Yes. And I've also incorporated more organ meats. I think that's really important as well, liver and heart. And there's various people out there that do, the chips, and not chips, but like organ meat not supplements either, like real product. And I think that that's a wonderful inclusion into the carnivore diet that is in addition to my eggs and my beef and, whatever else I eat. The organ meats, I think, have a huge effect on your metabolic level and um, your chemistry. There's minerals and vitamins and elements that you don't get from just eating chicken, you know, and the usual stuff. So I love incorporating that into my diet as well.
Mm. So, like, it's only been recent that you've kind of feeling like, oh, I like this OMAD style. So,
hmm
like, what was your OMAD meal yesterday?
I had a combination of ground pork and steak. So I made two things. I ate them both. I eat as much as I want. I put whatever I want on it. I put maybe a little liver powder, a little mozzarella cheese. If the pork, I did a little, pepper. I have put some spices on my food from time to time, and it was delicious. And I just kept eating until I was satisfied. I had a whole piece of, maybe a good pound or a pound and a half of food, but it was local. So the other thing, so I love that. And I felt good, and it was, I can't tell you. I mean, because you do this as well, do you not?
Right. So you must be more productive with work as well, like day to day.
I think that I get more done in a day for sure. I'm in IT and I'm in the legal field, so I do both things, and I can focus, and I think my memory is better since I've done this, because I'm 57. So, you can get overwhelmed when people are throwing a lot of things at you to do, and I think that the my brain is working at the best it can right now.
Yeah, I think the focus is a really big thing, and the
Yeah.
the reminder that I constantly get about my focus is my Apple Watch buzzing at me saying, "You've got to stand up. You got to stand up. You got to stand up." 'Cause it's just like you can really get into things that you'd
Yeah.
be constantly distracted by with before, you know?
Yeah, I actually let go of the watch and I don't use it these days, but yeah, less interruptions will allow for better concentration for sure. And also more energy allows your brain, where I'm not tired. So, and when somebody starts spouting something complicated, I don't turn off. I listen, and I prioritize and whatnot. So, in all facets of life, facets, you can't lose. I feel great. Yeah,
Yeah, so in total now it's been about 3 and a
it's
half,
cup.
am I doing the math right? 3.5 years?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe
Wow.
so.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's good.
Yeah. So if someone said to you, "Donna, look, you're doing really well. I wanna give this a try." How would you recommend they get started?
I To get started, I would recommend um, slowly reducing, identifying those super processed items that they rely on, and maybe replacing those with an alternative. So if they like a sugary coffee, it's tough. But what I do sometimes, if I am I don't have too many cravings, but when I want something, I do like a completely unsweetened cacao, like cocoa thing, and I melt it with some hot heavy cream and I make this super chocolatey pudding. There's no sugar in it, but it's very satisfying because it's very flavorful and filling. So it's just replacing that sugar and that processed food with something s- satisfying but isn't harmful. It's hard. Maybe more vegetables, less grains, and just kind of weaning off the grains, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize how addicted we are to grains, right? Because you see, like, the sugar as being the enemy. Like, even people that are pro standard Western diet, can kind of understand that sugar is the enemy, but
Mhm.
they don't see grains as the enemy, and it's really, really bad.
Right, and what goes along with that is the seed oils and the other things that really hurt the system. So it's and the other thing I would recommend is to go to a local farm to get meat and veg as well. So I'm trying to source the meat that I get from local farmers that were in my state, so that I'm not buying, something more sustainably produced.
So your plan is to stick with this forever going forward? There's no thoughts of going back?
Never. It's second nature. Second nature. I've backslid a little bit, but I know it. I own it. If I feel like I'm wearing my pants and I don't need my belt, I know it's my belly that's keeping my pants up. So, and I know how to get it back. So I can't do it. I won't do it. I know that this is the best thing for me, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Nice. So Donna, if people want to reach out to you, is there a way they can get in contact?
I do have my email address, and I do have an Instagram page that my dog maintains. So I will share that.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for coming back on and letting us know how things are going. Really happy to hear that you're still going strong.
Thank you. I hope it's not getting too dark. The sun is setting. And I just love your channel, Dave, and I'm very happy to share everything that I've learned.